welcome back to the Flames War Battle Report. Today we have Bulge Americans using Veteran Chaffees, which is commanded by me, against Richard and his bagration German Panzer IV company. So at my time currently now, the Bulge book is not out, so probably by now you've had it for a while, but hopefully my next game, which will be next week, is going to be a Bulge Battle Report. So I'll try to get it done. And I know Richard is very eager to start playing using them as well. He mentioned the brigade options quite a bit. Today's game is going to be quite interesting because we're both using quite attacking orientated lists. With only one platoon of infantry between us, it's going to be a definitely maneuverable game with lots of tanks. So let's go in and have a look. Okay, today I am running a Veteran M24 Chaffee company. From the Bulge American book. So we have our Chafees here. So I have a HQ of 2, then 2 platoons of 4. Also in the formation is a Veteran late M4 Sherman platoon. All of them have 76mm guns, and one of them is a jumbo, and they've also got the 76mm hypervelocity AP. And to round off the formation, we have 3 armoured mortars. In support, we have 4 M18 tank destroyers, and they also have tank destroyer hypervelocity AP. So all my 76mm guns are AT-13. I then have 3 priests and a armoured recon patrol for some scouting and some spearheads. So overall, very mobile, quick force, and decent guns on it as well. So let's see what Richard is running. And this is Richard's bagration list that he'll be using today. So he's using a Panzer IV company. So he has a HQ of 2 Panzer IVs and then 2 platoons of 4. And then he has an armoured panzergrenadier platoon. So it's a full platoon, so 7 teams with Panzerfaust and a Panzerschreck. And they've also been upgraded to Panzer Pioneer platoons, so if needed they can get through minefields easier and dig in easier as well, so all good. In support we have 3 Vesps with a Panzer III OP, 3 scout cars, the 221s, and one of them has been upgraded to a 2.8cm gun, and an elephant, and that is 100 points, with 2 very mobile lists looking to attack, but only one can attack and one has to defend, unless there's a meeting engagement. So let's see what mission we end up having. Okay, me and Richard both picked attack, and we end up getting dust up. Richard is the initial attacker, so he got to pick everything. So he picked the corner with the high ground. So there we see the Panzer IV HQ with the Vesps here, the elephant and the OP, and then the armoured platoon. So in his reserve are the 2 Panzer IV platoons. For me, there's a spearhead as well with the 221s. I did a spearhead as well with my armoured recon, and I put a Chaffee platoon with them. There's my Chaffee HQ, and then the hellcats and the mortars. Put the hellcats in the forest just so my concealment on the ground will have an effect against the high ground. And then I have my priests back here. So in reserve for me I have the late Sherman platoon and another platoon of Chafees. So because it's a meeting engagement, we both have to roll to see who goes first. So highest gets it. So we have a 2 and a 3. So I will be going first. So for people unfamiliar with meeting engagements, that means I don't get to use artillery, which is a shame. But since I have stabilizers, I get the incentive to move, and it's also delayed reserve, so we won't see any, if any, till turn 3. Okay, movement. Since I'd already technically moved, I might as well get moving anyway. So the Chaffees have moved up tactical, as well as the recon, and then the guy with the mortar has done a terrain dash into the forest. I shuffled my HQ over a bit. I know it's a bit of a template dream over here, but so they can, well, just these 2 in the end, extreme range, but if I could get a sneaky shot on them and get one of them, that'd be nice. So we'll go into shooting and we'll see what happens. No hits Actually, I did get hit with the MG Jeep, but the Chaffees here got a bit dazzled, so it's going to be a bit rough now going into German turn 1. Okay, Richard's movement. The armoured panzergrenadiers tried a blitz move, but failed, so they're just going to stay put. The scout cars passed a blitz and then did a tactical away from my guys, and then Richard decided to try and do a blitz with these guys because he wasn't happy about where the facings of their hulls, but failed, unfortunately. So that is it. Might make some longevity for these Chafees for a little bit, but we go now into Richard shooting. Okay, German shooting, ranged in second attempt here, managed to bail out a Hellcat and kill one of the HQ tanks, and the Panzer IVs who failed their blitz managed to knock out 2 of the Chaffees, so not so great at the moment for the Americans going into their turn 2. So first up we will do the remount on the Hellcat, who will get a reroll, and that will be enough to get him back in, and no reserves yet, so we'll get stuck in. Okay, movement wise, the Chaffee HQ's moved outside of the template. These guys will just have to shoot and scoot their way out at some point, and then the other Chaffees did a tactical to engage the scout cars, and these guys just moved to hide. And that's it, so we'll do shooting and see what happens. American shooting, I killed 2 of the scout cars with my Chaffees. I then ranged in first time with the priests here, but I got no hits. I failed to range in with the mortars, and then my Jeep ranged in, got 3 hits, but nothing from there. The Hellcats did fire at the OP and the half-tracks, but got no hits. So that is it. So now we go into German turn 2, and all they have is a last stand test to do on their scout car.
Yep.
So let's see what we get. That will not be enough, so they'll be driving away quick sharpish. And then we'll go into German movement. German movement, nothing moved. German shooting, the elephants fired at the mortars but missed. The repeat bombardment from the Vesps killed the mortar and bailed a Hellcat. And then the Panzer IVs on the ridge fired at the Chaffees, did get 1 hit. But then I equalled my 4 becoming a 5 with a 6. And then Richard failed his firepower, so somehow they managed to shrug the shot off, and that is it. They then did a shoot and scoot to go and hide. And that is it, so now we go into American turn 3 with my first chance to try and get reserves in. Okay, so my first attempt to try and get reserves in, oh no, shall we do the motivations first, of course. So the Hellcat, does he get back in? He does on a 4, and then to roll for reserves, no, not this time. Okay, so we continue into movement. Okay, American movement in this sector, nothing has moved. Over here I've done some cross-country and road dashes to get to here, and that is it. So we're going to be starting my shooting phase with a smoke barrage from the mortars starting by here. Okay, so I tried ranging in with the half-tracks who failed, so the priests had to do it, which is a shame because they were already good there. But I want to cover these guys for as long as I can, and then nothing else happened really. The Hellcat had a almost impossible shot up here, missed, and then the mortar didn't have as good a turn as he did last turn. So we're going into German turn 3 with their first chance for reserves. So we're going in, Richard, 1 dice.
5+, yeah.
5+. Ooh, they're coming in, so I guess it'll be a unit of Panzer IVs. Okay, so German reserves have come on here. So tactical move, so they can still shoot. These guys failed another blitz move. The Vesps have moved to engage the Chaffee, so 1 has actually managed to clear the smoke. The other 2 haven't, but they're within 6 inches so they can fire. And the Panzer IVs have moved to do the same thing. So Chaffee's not so much in cover here, but here we go. So now we go into German shooting. German shooting, luckily the Vesps missed everything, but the Panzer IVs did get a hit, which I couldn't stop, which killed it outright. The Elephant again missed, and then the Panzer IVs, 3 of them fired at the priests and managed to get a bail, and the other one went for the Hellcat by the woods, but missed. So that is it, so now we're going into American turn 4. Okay, American turn 4, my motivations first, so to remount my priest on a 4+, which I do, and then I have a last stand on the Hellcat on a 4+. He runs away. And then I have 2 dice for reserves, and I do get a unit of reserve, so it'll be the veteran Shermans who will be coming in. Okay, American movement, not Jacksons, the veteran Shermans are on. My Greyhounds did not move, but the Jeep did a tactical move, so you have to shoot him, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, the Hellcats did a cross here to get into the woods, and none of them rolled lower than a 3 anyway, so that was a waste. But they're there now, so I'm happy with that. And that is it for my movement. Oh, the Chaffee HQ moved behind the woods because I will need some motivation rolls at some point. So we're going to shoot, and I'm going to be starting off with a smoke barrage with the mortars because they failed to do it last turn, so they can do it again this turn. Okay, so shooting wise, the Greyhounds needed 5s to hit the Vesps, and so far 5s seem to be an impossible number for me to get. I missed. But the Jeep almost got one. He did get a hit, but needed a 1 to bail. These guys then needed 7s and got 2 6s and then rolled a 5, and then I popped one of the Panzer 4 HQs. The priests then ranged in first attempt here and managed to bail one of the Panzer 4s, but still a lot to do over here, and that's where my smoke barrage went. And that's it. So now we go into German turn 4. First bit you have is a 3+ remount on a Panzer, which gets in, and then you have 2 dice for reserves.
Yeah, come on. No.
One more turn and they'll be in. So all my reserves will be in next turn. Awesome. So here we go into German turn 4. Okay, German movement. These guys did finally do their blitz move, and they moved a bit further forward. The Panzer 3 OP has moved off the ridge to engage my Jeep that is contesting the objective, and that is it. So no more movement, and that is it. So we go into German shooting. German shooting, the Panzer 4s have knocked out 2 of the Hellcats in the woods, and they have only managed to bail one of the Greyhounds, and the Panzer 3 OP took out the Jeep. So that is it. So now we're going into American turn 5. American turn 5 starts with a remount for the Greyhound on a 4-up. No, so he will need to do a last stand on a 5-up, which he passes on a 6. And then there's no point me rolling for reserves because I'll be rolling 3 dice. I will be getting 1 in anyway, so here come the rest of the Chaffies. Okay, American movement. These guys are doing a tactical up to the wall. Chaffee reserves have come in by here, and there's going to be no more other movement, so we'll go straight into shooting. No more smoke to fire, so I can just do what I like. Okay, American shooting. I failed to hit anything with anything over here. I managed to range in final attempt with the mortars by here. I did get a hit, but it resulted in nothing, and I managed to bail one of the Panzer 4s over here. So I've not fired my Hellcats. I'm going to keep them gone to ground for a bit. And that is it. So now we're going to German turn 5, and they will be getting their remaining Panzer 4s on as well.
On a
3+ remount first.
3+, nice.
No.
Oh, not so nice.
Okay, so the other ones come on though, so we crack on into your turn. Right, German movement, and Richard's thrown me off with his ability to attack. I've never seen this before, so the Panzer 4s have moved here with a blitz move. They did fail to follow me, but they're here now. And then we have the half tracks. I was wondering what he was trying to do with them, but now I know he's been eyeing this objective up for a long time. The elephant has moved off his ridge and moved on to another ridge here, and that's it. That's all the other movement. So the reserves came in here to protect this objective, and that is it. So now we're going to start with the shooting. Okay, German shooting, I think it was all over here. So basically the elephant went for the Shermans and missed. The Vesps finished off the Greyhounds over here. The Panzer 4s fired down at the Chaffies and got 1 bail. I managed to equal again, and that is it. So now we go into American turn 6, and I'll start with my remount on my Chaffee on a 3-up, which I pass.
Yeah, nice.
And that will be it for my motivations this turn. Okay, American movement. I've tactically moved my HQ to contest, and I did a cross here with the half tracks to get them to do it as well. I'm just parking as much as I can, so you have to shoot them off yourself. And I did actually have a last stand. I had a last stand to do on my Jeep, and he passed on a 6, and there's the dice to prove it. No fixing here, and that is it. So now we go into my shooting. Okay, so shooting down here got a bit fierce. managed to pop 2 of the half tracks, but only managed to kill 1 of the guys inside. The hellcats only managed to only bail a Panzer IV, and then they shoot and scooted out of the forest. So one of them is also contesting the objective. The 76 Shermans, I split fire 2 onto the HQ and blew them to smithereens, and the other 2 went onto the other platoon, but I could not get them, unfortunately. And that's it. So now we go into German turn 6.
Exciting.
Okay. German turn 6, you have a 3+ remount on the guy on the objective, or the guy further back.
Go further back first.
Yes, and the guy on the objective.
Come on.
Yes. And then you need to rally your infantry platoon on a 4+. They do rally. Okay, and that's it. So now we go into German movement. Okay. German movement. The guy at the back is moving to join up, and then the guys who rallied have moved, so they're onto the objective as well. But I believe Richard should be able to clear my 4 teams off. And to be honest, he doesn't need to kill them, we just need to bail them, and that should be enough. So that is it. So we'll go into German shoot-in and see if this is the last turn. Okay, so far he is bailed, and I've lost a Sherman 76 to the Elephant, who's managed to hit something. So now the Panzerfaust didn't hit, and now basically this Panzer IV is firing into the Chaffee. So basically all Richard needs to do is hit the Chaffee, hit the mortar, hit the Hellcat, because I can't equal the armour, so I'll be automatically bailed, and that'll be it. So 1 is going into the Chaffee, 2 are going into the Hellcats, and then 1 more is going into the mortar. So do the Hellcat, 2 shots into the Chaffee, so you need
Open
4s. 1 hit.
1 hit.
So to kill on a 3? No, so he's
bailed, so he's not contesting.
Okay, right. And now the guy who's outside of 8 going on to the Chaffee's hitting on 5s. Misses.
No.
And then the guy who's inside of 8 hitting on 5s.
Yes.
So he hits. So I can't swap, most importantly, so we'll be the contestant guy, and on a 3F you will kill. You bail. I'll get a mark of him. And then 1 shot hitting on 5s. So this is a game.
No.
I hang in there just.
But I'll see if I can put a bombardment down. Okay,
right. You're a bit ropey, but you've got your OP, which is the important bit. So we'll see if anything is still standing later. Okay, so somehow I'm still. Well, this is desperate clinging on now, but basically bail, but most importantly, he's not bailed, but he'll probably run away. So I have plenty of motivations to do right here. So let's do the HQ first. So he is back in. Whoops. Then I have the first Hellcat, who's back in. Then the second Hellcat, who's back in. And then I have my Chaffee, who's also back in, and then a last stand on the veteran mortar, and he stays, loving it. And a last stand on my Jeep. Also just, well, he can't do anything, everything's too close now, so that's it. So we'll go into movement. American movement. The Hellcats passed a blitz move on a 6, so both of them are contesting the objective. But most importantly, they can see the Panzer IVs without concealment, which is what I need. So we go into shooting and see what happens. Okay, shooting. Americans start to hit their mark. So basically, the Hellcats managed to get rid of 3 of the Panzer IVs. My HQ then managed to get rid of 2 of the infantry teams. Chaffee split their fire between infantry and Panzer IVs. Didn't get anything. And then the Shermans over here managed to get 2 additional hits on the Panzer IVs over here, killing 2 of them outright. And that is it. So now I'm going to try and assault with the Chaffies. Okay, so the assault failed. I got 1 bailed because of the Panzerfaust. I failed to hit, but then Richard failed his hit in the assault, and then I failed my counterattack. So he died because he couldn't get out to 6. Richard then consolidated here, which forced some of my guys to back away 2 inches to stay outside of 2 inches. They didn't back away 2 inches, but they just nudged it. So now we go into German turn 6, is it? 7? I'm not sure.
Okay.
Either way. But it's a bit of a bloodbath, and I still have 4 teams contesting the objective. but Richard has some another last stand test to do down here, so let's see what happens. Okay, first and only motivation, Richard, is your last stand. 3+. Oh! Right, so into the movement. Okay, no more movement from Richard. He is just going to stick to his position and try to blast my 4 remaining guys off the objective.
Oh, sorry, I'll do a dig in with him.
Okay, so it's a 2-up because I wouldn't have needed that anyway. I think even the new brigade stuff would be able to do that. Okay, German shooting.
Rubbish.
Nothing, didn't get anything unfortunately. The Vesps ranged in here because of danger close. Hit the Chaffee and the Jeep, I managed to pass it all. And the Panzer IVs over here just missed. And Richard's happy to keep gone to ground here. Don't believe you'd be gone to ground with the shooting scoop though. No. So that's okay then. So we are going into American turn. Okay, so the half track managed to stay in again. I mean in the last stand, but the Jeep has finally run away. So we are going, I think movement wise, I'm pretty much happy where I am. So we're going to go into the shooting step. Okay, so American shooting, I managed to kill another Panzer IV with a mixture of 76s and hellcats. One is bailed and needs to do a last stand. These guys I managed to get rid of the 2 half tracks. Shouldn't really, I think it was a bad move. But they pinned and I managed to get rid of the Panzer Shrek, which is excellent. So basically we go into German turn. And Richard, you need to pass 2 3-ups basically. Not so the first one is to remount on a 3-up. He does, and then a rally test on the infantry on a 4+. They rally, and then a 3+ last stand. Still in it, and still with my 4 guys clinging on to the objective. Okay, German movement, these guys are just peeling around. The one guy going right round the flank to try and assault into here. And that is it, so now we go into German shooting. Okay, so shooting is done. The Vesps ranged in here, first attempt killed the mortar. Nothing else hit, but then the Panzerfaust killed this Hellcat here. So now we have an assault going in from this guy here, just so no more defensive fire can be brought in. And that's it. So let's see if I can stop it and kill him. Alas, something that very rarely happens, all 3 of my defensive fire shots connected, and Richard failed twice, so that is nothing there. So we go into Americans' next turn, and it's getting dicey. Still a lot of infantry here I need to get rid of. So we'll start off with motivations. It's just the Hellcats last stand test. Who runs away? Damn you. So we've got a lot more to do still. Okay, so my Chaffies are moved in. It's going to have to be Assault Town now. I'll try and blast my way through them as much as I can. But I think I'm just going to have to drive them away this time. Yeah, and that is going to be it basically. Might maybe move the priests a bit further forward to give some 50 cal support. But we'll see that now in the shooting step. So it kind of sputtered that little turn because basically I managed to get 1 hit with the Shermans on the Panzer IV. Richard failed the save, and then I passed my firepower, killing the formation and breaking it, and just about clinging in. A very good game from you, Richard.
Really
just
fun.
About clinging there. So man of the matches for me, probably the 76mm Shermans. They killed your Panzer IVs and they killed your HQ. And without them I wouldn't have been able to win the game. For 1 turn the Hellcats had a good round, but other than that, not memorable. And I don't think anything did enough to top the 76s. And I know what your one's going to be.
Yeah, well, honourable mention for that Panzer IV. Well, all the Panzer IVs actually, like you sometimes undervalue them, and they're actually pretty solid if used carefully. And using the infantry, I think I use the infantry a lot better than I normally do. But yeah, man of the match by miles was the Vesps. They I can't remember, they killed 3 or 4 things under artillery bombardments, but they also even was used as assault guns,
So
and
I think
killed the greyhounds.
to their ratio today is a HQ Chaffee, 2 half tracks, motor half tracks, and they also they also killed 2 greyhounds as well.
That's at least.
So that is 2 unit kills from them.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty above average for those guys.
And the elephant was rubbish, but that wasn't. I mean, it held up my flank, so
I couldn't move against it really. I could have, but I felt I would win the game by breaking you. But I really had to cling when you went for that objective. I think I was really good. I think smoke would have been the better option.
Yeah,
but
I need to get better at using smoke.
But no, that was a really good game and very close.
Yeah, really.